Alright fight fans, welcome back to Quick Picks with the Geek, and it's time once again to try and outsmart the odds makers. Last weekend was a mixed bag. The lock hit, which is always nice, but the parlay decided to keep its streak alive of breaking my heart at the worst possible moment. And the live dogs? One barked, one went straight to sleep. So overall, not terrible, but definitely room for improvement. So this week we're back looking for value on the card. We've got a new lock of the night, a couple live dogs that I think have a real chance to pull off the upset, and a parlay of the night that I'm hoping finally cashes so I can stop talking about almost hitting these. And as always, if you haven't already, make sure you check out my full prediction video for the card. Alright, let's get into it. First up, the lock of the night. Last week our lock did hit, but I'll be honest, I didn't love how Dante looked in that fight. Luckily for us, Cody somehow managed to look even worse, so the bet still cashed. Sometimes that's just how this game works. This week the lock is Beatriz Mesquita, coming in as a -650 favorite. The matchup here just feels pretty clear. I don't see Rendon having much success stopping the takedowns, and once Mesquita gets this fight to the ground, that's where things get really lopsided. Her grappling advantage is massive. If she gets on top, it's going to be extremely difficult for Rendon to escape or reverse position. That's Mesquita's world. Now the striking isn't exactly elite, but she does have decent power, and the key thing here is she doesn't have to worry about being taken down herself. That freedom can make her a little more confident and dangerous on the feet. But realistically, this fight probably doesn't stay standing very long. I expect Mesquita to get the takedown, control the position, and once it hits the mat, it likely stays there. Next up are the live dogs of the night. Last week we split on the dogs. Bruno got put down early. I personally thought that fight could have gone a little longer, but maybe that's just me being selfish because I needed that ticket to stay alive. But Charles Oliveira came through as the underdog, and that one felt good. I really believed the grappling would be the difference, and sure enough, it was. Now I know there's this weird unwritten rule floating around about the BMF belt. But honestly, I hate unwritten rules. It's still an MMA fight. And the way Charles was slamming the hell out of Max, that looked like some pretty bad motherfucker activity to me. Anyway, let me step off my soapbox. Our first live dog this week is Sam Hughes at +128. Honestly, Sam feels live almost every time she's an underdog. These two have fought before, and if Sam can keep this fight standing, I think she has a real chance to outwork Rodriguez. Sam is an absolute cardio machine, and that's going to be the key here. If she pushes a pace, stays active, and keeps the fight in striking range, I could definitely see her grinding out another close decision. So I'm leaning Sam Hughes by decision in a hard-fought fight. The second live dog is Steven Asplund at +190. This guy is just chaos in the best way possible. He pushes a ridiculous pace, and he's always moving forward. Now obviously, the big danger here is the early knockout. If he gets caught early, this bet dies pretty quickly. But if he survives that first wave, I could absolutely see him turning the fight into a cardio battle. Vitor Petrino hasn't shown terrible cardio, but Steven just doesn't slow down. If Asplund drags him into that kind of fight, the pace alone could become a serious problem. So the hope here is simple. Don't walk into a bomb early, keep the pressure high, and maybe steal this one late. Now it's time for the parlay of the night, and I'll be honest, this parlay segment has been escaping us lately. Last week was rough. Nobody saw Luke getting knocked out by Bellato coming. Luke looked fantastic, right up until he didn't. And Tobias? That one was frustrating. He was getting beat up on the feet all night, barely using his wrestling, and then right at the end when he finally started grappling, you could clearly see the gap in skill. Which just makes you sit there wondering, why wasn't he doing that the whole fight? But hey, we lick our wounds and move on. This week we're going to play it a little safer, because I'd actually like to brag about finally hitting one of these. First leg is Charles Johnson at -178. I really like Charles in this matchup. He's a solid striker, has good takedown defense, and he's shown he can compete with good competition. He's even knocked out Loner Kavanagh and the current champion Joshua Van, which is pretty impressive. Now he has taken some tough losses, like getting knocked out by Alex Perez, which I absolutely did not see coming. But this feels like a good bounce-back spot. Bruno is a solid fighter, but I think Charles has the better striking overall. If Bruno turns this into a grappling-heavy fight, maybe he has a path, but personally, I'm betting on Charles not dropping 2 in a row. Next leg is Elijah Smith at -235. I really like this matchup for him. Su Young Yu is on a 5-fight win streak, but if you actually watch those fights, he hasn't looked particularly impressive. In his last fight, he went 0 for 6 on takedowns, and once he was forced to strike, he didn't look great. He was getting outstruck for most of the fight, but somehow still managed to squeeze out a decision. Here, I think Elijah stuffs the takedowns, possibly lands a few of his own, and I also like his chances if the fight stays standing. Overall, this just feels like a good stylistic matchup for him. Last leg is Marwan Rahiki at -250. This pick was pretty easy for me. Harry is tough, he's a dog, and that actually makes this a pretty good matchup for Marwan. Rahiki has 6 knockouts in 7 wins, and 4 of those came in the first round. Harry might not fold to the first big shot, which could actually give Marwan a chance to showcase a little more of his skill set. Either way, I think Marwan eventually finds the finish or clearly wins this fight. If all 3 legs hit, the parlay comes out to +211. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy, just a solid, slightly safer parlay. Hopefully this one finally cashes and we can at least walk away with a small profit this weekend. Alright, that's the betting strategy for this weekend. We've got a lock, a couple live dogs that could shake things up, and a parlay that hopefully, finally, decides to cooperate. Because at this point, the parlay of the night and I have a very complicated relationship. But that's MMA betting. One weird knockout, one questionable scorecard, one fighter deciding to wrestle for the first time in their career, and the whole ticket explodes. Let me know in the comments what bets you're playing this weekend. I always like seeing what you guys are cooking up. Sometimes you guys find some really sharp spots. Also, don't forget to check out my full prediction video for the fights. Hopefully this week the dogs bark, the parlay hits, and we all walk away with a little extra cash. Until next time, this has been Quick Picks with the Geek. Good luck on your bets. And let's see if we can beat the bookies this weekend.